Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day. And today we got some more from Gil's Arena. I must say, I've been enjoying Gil's Arena a lot more. It's getting more entertaining, and I believe that's mostly because Rashad McCants seems to be less and less tolerant of the way that Gilbert Arenas tries to cap for LeBron. And so I'm enjoying it a lot more. But before we get into this, let's check out this clip right quick.
I don't like when you talk about GOAT stuff and you do this. This guy did this. He couldn't do it. Right? You talk about one's greatness and you take away what someone else couldn't do. Just name everything everyone did that was great. So if Jordan won 6 rings, you say 6 rings, right? 6 MVPs. If LeBron won 4, you say 4. You don't say 4 for 10, right? Everyone throws the negatives on someone else's to make it look worse. Just say everyone's greatness.
No, that's because.
And then go from there.
No, that's because as a child with kids, a lot of these, Mike ain't never left a kid crying or upset for losing. So if you Mike and you running through a whole era, yeah, I'm gonna bring that up. I mean, every time I touch the finals, I've never lost. So yeah, I don't care how many times you've been. When I go, I'm coming back home with one. But that does matter. That's a big statement.
But then someone can say I never lost in the first round 46 times.
That's fine, but I never lost in the finals though. The finals. The finals is the biggest thing the NBA ever.
But I'm saying if you're that great, stand on your greatness. Don't throw salt on someone else's greatness.
Who?
Anyone's. If I went to the finals 6 times, I have 6 finals MVP. That should be all that's being said.
You just said,
I don't need to say that you been there 10 times and lost 6. I don't need to do that if I'm secure with the shit I did.
But you just listed off a bunch of stats.
All right. So as you can see in the clip, basically, Gilbert Arenas is saying that, hey, why can't we compare greatness by simply talking about the positive? Why do we have to bring up the negative of a person's resume? Why can't we just say, one example, he said, why can't we just say LeBron James has 4 championships? Why do we have to say he has 4 out of 10? And I have an answer for that. And the answer is simply this: because Michael Jordan is the standard. Michael Jordan is the standard. And before we get into this, let me read the definition of standard, especially for you fanboys. So standard, a level of quality or attainment. And the second definition, an ideal or thing used as a measure, norm, or model in comparative evaluations. I'm going to read these one more time. A level of quality or attainment. And number 2, an ideal or thing used as a measure, norm, or model in comparative evaluations. So yes, Michael Jordan is the standard. And when you are measuring against the standard, you have to bring up the flaws. Now, I believe somewhere in that segment, Gilbert Arenas also said something to the effect that people never bring up Michael Jordan's flaws in these GOAT debates. They just say he's 6-0 and blah, 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 blah. Well, again, the reason for that is because Michael Jordan is the standard. So let me start with this. Whoever was the standard before Michael Jordan became the standard, AKA the GOAT. Some people might have thought Magic Johnson was the GOAT. Some people might have thought Larry Bird was the GOAT. Some people could have thought Kareem was the GOAT. Some people may have had Bill Russell, Wilt, number of people. But whoever you thought was the GOAT and they were the current standard of measurement, what happens is when that new standard comes along, that means people have evaluated this player, right? They've taken into consideration this player's flaws, this player's failures, and all that is included in the judgment. So Michael Jordan, when he was deemed the greatest player of all time, whenever you want to say that kind of officially took place, a lot of people say it was after the first three-peat. Some people say it was after the second three-peat is when he was solidified as the GOAT. But the bottom line is Jordan fans and the majority of people, players and fans who believe Michael Jordan is the GOAT, they are well aware of his failures. They're well aware of him losing to Boston. They're well aware of him losing to Detroit. And all those things considered, he's still the greatest player the majority of people have ever seen. So when you are the standard, and people are being measured against you, you have to point out their flaws. You have to say, okay, this person is good, but they don't do this like Mike. For instance, Kobe. You say, oh, Kobe was great, but his lack of athleticism is one of the things that held him back from being as great as Michael Jordan. You can say, oh, Vince Carter, great athlete, but he just never had that killer mentality that Michael Jordan had. Far from it. You can say Allen Iverson, serious competitor, but he wasn't as coachable as Michael Jordan. He wasn't as tall as Michael Jordan. You point out the things that keep these players from reaching the standard. And so when you're talking about LeBron James, because Gilbert Arenas brought this up, he said, how come we can't just say LeBron James won 4 championships? How come we have to say 4 out of 10? Let me explain why we have to say 4 out of 10. Because the fact that he lost 6 times in the finals matter. Again, all you have to do is go through some Michael Jordan stats, and you will see that the more pressure, the higher the stakes, Michael Jordan got better and better. There's a reason why he never went to a Game 7 in the finals. Because as the pressure got greater, Michael Jordan got better. So you have to take that into account when you say LeBron James has lost 6 times at the biggest moment of anyone's NBA career. The finals is the biggest moment. Again, I brought this up in several videos now, and I keep bringing it up because I think it is the mindset of a winner. Kobe Bryant, who says, we do not hang division banners. We only hang championship banners. At least that was the standard when Kobe was a Laker. Again, Lakers fans, I'm so sorry for you guys. I'm so sorry that you guys have had your franchise tainted with LeBron James. But anyway, yeah, you have to bring up the fact that LeBron James has lost 6 times in the finals because that shows a flaw. And you can't just chalk it up to, oh, he was facing greater competition. You can't just chalk it up to, oh, well, he didn't have a team around him. Because 2011, he had a great team. It's no excuses. So you have to bring up those things because those things could potentially point to some mental weaknesses, which matters when you are comparing greatness. You have to take everything into consideration. And again, because Michael Jordan is the standard by which everyone else is compared, yes, I mean, what are you going to bring up a flaw of Michael Jordan's for when he is the standard? The only time that Michael Jordan will be scrutinized in that same way because Michael Jordan went through scrutiny in his career, but now that he's solidified as the GOAT and has been that way for decades now, right? The only way that Michael Jordan can be scrutinized in that same way is when someone comes and sets a new standard. If we ever see a player that universally is regarded as the new standard, aka the GOAT, then you will see Michael Jordan get scrutinized. If a player ever comes along that both players and fans agree that, hey, now this guy is the best player we've ever seen, then people will start saying, well, Michael Jordan was great, but he couldn't do this. Michael Jordan was great, but he couldn't do this. That's hard to imagine. And honestly, the more time goes on, I'm starting to feel like we may not see another Michael Jordan in our lifetime. Those of us who grew up during the Jordan era, we may not see that in our lifetime. But that is when Michael Jordan will be scrutinized, when his game will be scrutinized, when his career will be scrutinized, is when someone comes along and sets a new standard. But I'm here to tell you, fanboys, Michael Jordan is a hard standard to upstage. So yes, for Gilbert Arenas, who doesn't understand why you have to bring up the negatives, whenever you're measuring against a standard, that's how you judge it. You judge it by how the other things don't measure up. And you can only do that by pointing out the negatives. And especially in basketball, because everything is so subjective to a certain degree. And because everyone has different factors that are more important to them. Again, if you've been following my channel, you know the eye test is very important to me. To me, that's the heaviest factor. Some people more heavily rely on the resume. Apparently, LeBron James fanboys are only concerned with racking up some stats. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. But like I said, I just saw that and wanted to throw my 2 cents in the ring. Like I said, Gilbert Arenas saying that, hey, we should only just bring up the positives. Can't say Kobe is 5-2. Just say he won 5 championships. Just say LeBron James won 4 championships without mentioning that he lost 6 times in the finals. Again, those kind of things point to other flaws that could be wrong in your greatness. Again, they can point to mental weaknesses. If you are able to get to the finals 10 times, but not able to close the deal over half the time, to me, that points to some mental weaknesses. And that has to be a factor. So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with Gilbert Arenas? Do you think when having these GOAT debates, we should not bring up any of the failures or negatives? We should only state the positive things? Or do you agree that once you become the standard like Michael Jordan and everyone else is compared against you, then you have to bring up the flaws of everyone else to show how they don't measure up? And it's a lot of factors in that. It's not just the stats. It's a lot of intangibles that you have to try to evaluate to understand why Michael Jordan has had his level of greatness and why other players may not have reached there. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.